You already know birth isn't predictable. That's not the part that you're struggling with. The part that keeps you up at night, it's wondering who you'll be when it gets intense, when everything speeds up, when nothing feels familiar, when it's just you, your body, and whatever happens next. You've been preparing. You're not someone who just shrugs it off and says, we'll figure it out. You've read the books, you listen to the podcasts, you've watched the YouTube birth videos, you've started making your plan. You've got a vision for your birth, not a fantasy, a feeling, steady, calm, powerful, connected. And you want that feeling to be real, even when things don't go the way that you hoped. But the more that you learn, the more that you realize none of it guarantees you'll actually feel ready in the moment. And that's the part that no one is talking about. You're smart, you're intentional, you want to do this right, but no matter how much information you gather, there's still this low level anxiety feeling buzzing underneath it all. What if I freeze? What if I forget everything? What if I fall apart and my partner doesn't know what to do? And you don't want to admit it out loud, but you're carrying the pressure of preparing them too. Because if he isn't ready, you know it's all going to fall on you. If any of that hits, that's exactly why I created this. This is for the mom planning an unmedicated hospital birth who's done the reading but does not feel ready still, who wants a partner who doesn't just show up, someone who doesn't just stand there, but feels prepared and ready, and who's done hoping that one more article or checklist is going to make her feel ready. By the end of class, you'll understand what kind of preparation actually works when birth gets unpredictable, and why trying to just know enough has been keeping you stuck inside your head rather than grounded in your body. And if what I share speaks to you and you already know that you don't want to piece this together alone, I'll show you how we keep this going at the end. Welcome to Trust Your Birth Tuesday, where we cut through the noise, we ditch the fear-based nonsense that you've been fed about birth, and we actually get you feeling ready and prepared. I'm Coco. I'm a birth doula and coach and a mama of two. When I was pregnant with my first, I did everything I absolutely could to prepare. I wasn't going to wing it. Every day, I carved out time to train my mind and my body, emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. My husband and I practiced together, every position, every breath. We read all the research. We talked through every possible scenario. But even with all of that, there was still this moment during labor when it got really intense, where I felt it. The sharp edge of fear creeping in. The room felt louder. My thoughts scattered. My body tensed. And for a second, I started to slip into that I can't do this anymore thinking. And I remember looking at my husband, and instead of panic in his face, he seemed so calm. He grounded me because we had trained for that together. Not just this ideal version of birth, but the raw, unpredictable, this is really happening version. And even though I ended up having a major complication after my daughter was born, something that I could have never predicted, I never felt like I lost control because I had prepared for how to meet that moment, not just hope that it didn't happen. That birth changed me, not because everything went perfectly, it didn't, but because I was able to stay present, to stay connected, even when things didn't go as planned. And that is what I want for you. Not a perfect birth, but an anchored one, a powerful one, a birth where you walk away from thinking, I stayed with myself all the way through it. Let me tell you about one of my clients. She was so prepared. She came to me in her second trimester and said, I've already taken 2 popular courses. I have a whole binder of stuff I've printed out, but I still do not feel ready, and I don't know why. That part, I don't know why. That is what stuck with me because she had done so much right. She was smart, she was productive, she was intentional. She had written a beautiful birth plan. Her notes were full of coping tools, breath work, movement positions. She even had a whole section called In Case Things Go Off Track. But when we sat down together and actually walked through it, it was all in her head. She didn't know what those tools felt like in her body. Her partner wasn't sure how to actually support her in those moments. And more than anything, there is this deep uncertainty. What if I can't access any of this when it really counts? And that is the gap that nobody talks about. She didn't need more. She needed a method, something that didn't just give her information, but showed her how to actually embody it. So we slowed everything down. We chose a few of the tools that she had written down and layered them in intentionally. We practiced them in real time, in real scenarios together with her partner. So it stopped becoming theory and it started becoming reflex. We rehearsed what he would say when she started to spiral. We trained her body to soften through tension, not resist it. And we built those reps consistently until she didn't have to think about what to do next. And after her birth, she told me, I didn't freeze, I didn't panic, and neither did he. We were in it, we were present, and we felt steady. That's not something that you get from a checklist. That comes from depth, from repetition, from guidance, not from doing more, but from doing the right things in the right way at the right time. And that's the piece that most women miss because no one is showing them how. Let's try something right now. Wherever you are, just pause. I want you to place one hand on your chest. And if your partner's nearby, have them gently place their hand on your shoulder or your back. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a second. And I want you to imagine the moment during labor that you're afraid of. Really think, go deep. Picture that exact moment that causes you fear. The one that makes your body tense when you're just thinking about it. Now, hold on to that. And I want you to take a big, deep breath in. As you exhale, lower your shoulders, unclench your jaw, maybe even make a noise with that exhale, a nice low moan. Good. Let's try that one more time. Big breath in as much as you can. Do a quick body scan, taking the tension out of your jaw, out of your shoulders, out of your chest, and exhale it all away. Now, this isn't a trick. This is a rep. It's a nervous system rep. It's a presence rep. That is what preparation looks like when it's real. When your body starts recognizing intensity as something it knows it can meet, not something it has to run from. And the more that you practice like this now, the more steady you're actually going to feel when it counts. I hear this all the time from the women that I work with. I'm scared I'll fall apart. I want to be strong, but I don't know how I'll actually be when it's happening. And honestly, that fear makes sense because birth is not going to wait for you to be ready. It doesn't ask if your mindset is solid or if you remember the thing that you bookmarked on Instagram. It comes fast. And when it does, you're not going to rise to the level of your knowledge. You're going to fall to the level of your training. And that is the difference. I had a client once tell me, I'm doing all this prep, but I still can't picture myself actually in labor. And right there, that's the problem. She was preparing in theory, but not in her body. So we practiced differently, not just visualizing or breathing or journaling, but using real embodied reps. She learned how to recognize when her nervous system started to tense, and she learned how to interrupt that. She learned how to use breath and sound, not just a trick, but as a signal to her body that she was still safe. We practiced moments that felt awkward and vulnerable so they wouldn't feel new when it happened in real time in her birth. And she didn't just learn how to do this alone. Her partner practiced right beside her. And after birth, she told me it wasn't easy, but I didn't crumble. I didn't retreat into that fear. I stayed with myself. And that's because we had trained for that version of me to show up. And the truth is that version doesn't just appear when labor starts. She has to be built. She has to be practiced, not from a place of pressure, but from repetition. And most women, they never get a chance to do that before it's too late. And that's what this work is, not for bracing for birth, but for building your capacity to meet it. And that's what I want you to feel, not just getting through birth, but leading yourself through it. Let me be clear on something. I didn't have a doula at either of my births. Even though I believe in doulas, I am a doula. That is not something that was available to me in my births. I gave birth in the hospital. I had a major complication after my first that could have derailed everything. And yet I still felt calm, present, empowered. And that's not because everything went perfectly. That's because my husband and I trained together on purpose for the moments that people hope don't happen. That's what I want you to hear. This kind of preparation works even when your circumstances are less than ideal. One of my clients told me early on, my husband's really not that emotional. He's supportive, but I honestly don't think he's going to know what to do once I'm in labor. And I told her, that's exactly why we prep him too. He's not just going to know. We don't even just know. This is why we need to train. She didn't need her husband to be her doula. She needed him to be confident, calm, and able to meet her in the moment. And you know what? During her birth, he became her anchor because instead of guessing or hoping he'd say the right thing, they practiced it. They got support. That's what made the difference. Most women think the answer is doing the prep themselves. They try to absorb it all. They try to carry it all. They try to teach their partner everything that they're consuming and that they've learned. But the truth is, you can't carry this alone. And you don't have to. You just need the right kind of support, one that's built for hospital birth, for real partners, for busy schedules, for fear and doubt and unpredictability. That's what this preparation is designed for, not a perfect scenario, a powerful one. When you feel steady and he feels ready, and together you move through whatever unfolds grounded. Tonight, I want you to do this with your partner. I want you to pick one moment in birth that feels uncertain or overwhelming to you. It could be if contractions are back to back, or you're transitioning to the hospital, or maybe you heard that you're at 5 centimeters, or whatever it may be. Instead of planning around it, I want you to practice being in it. What will you say? What will he do? How will he support you? Just even 60 seconds. Have your partner place his hand on your shoulder. Close your eyes. Breathe together. Maybe you say a mantra like, this moment is hard and I know how to stay in it. That's just one rep. And one rep is going to do a lot more than hours of scrolling, because that's what gets you to calm your nervous system. That's what gets you inside of it. That's what makes you feel like I can do this, not by accident, but because you trained for it. So if you're still with me right now, I know that you're not just curious. You're not watching this for fun. You're here because you feel a gap, the space between everything that you've learned, everything that you're consuming, and how you actually want to feel when birth begins. You have done so much already. You're here. You have read the articles, you have watched the doulas on Instagram, and maybe you've even taken a class. But still, there's this quiet, unsettling feeling underneath it all. Not because you're unprepared, but because you know that knowing something and being able to use it when it counts are two very different things. And that's the part that's keeping you up at night, not the unpredictability of birth, but wondering who you'll be when things get hard. Will you freeze? Will you forget? Will you still feel like yourself and what matters? And maybe no one said this before, but I will. That fear is valid. That fear is common. And that fear is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you just need different kind of preparation. Not more doing, not more reading, not more pressure to just trust your body. What you need is a space where everything you gathered gets to land, where your nervous system gets trained, where your partner learns to show up, not perfectly, but with you. And where you get to walk into birth feeling like you've already been there before. And that's the kind of readiness that I believe in. And that's what I've poured into everything I teach. So if you've been nodding along with me this whole time, if there's something in you that's saying, this is what I've been looking for, even if you weren't sure what to call it, this is your next step. My course is open. You don't need to second guess it. You're ready. And I'd love to see you inside.